Thank you for bringing your gift with such passion to all of us. Are you able, though, to sell through the heart? Stay tuned to learn more about it on the Sacred Expression Show. Hello, everybody. I'm Meilin Ehlke from the sunny Bavaria, bringing you today a wonderful woman from Berlin, up north, a woman that I've met, a few years ago. And we are both, Christine and I, on a mission to support you in bringing out what you love to the world. So everyone, please welcome with me Christine Schlonski from Berlin. Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about our conversation today.
Yeah, we've been speaking a little bit prior before the recording, and a lot of fun and new ideas and creative ideas were arising, right? So let's see what is going to happen when we two create together, right?
Yes.
With the cosmos. To bring everyone up to speed of who you are, would you like to share a little bit what ignited you to move forward on your purpose?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I work with heart-centered, driven entrepreneurs, creatives, healers, light workers, therapists who have amazing gifts to offer to the world. And often they are very reluctant of sales because it never feels good. It feels salesy or sleazy or pushy. And therefore they hold back. And I observed that, and it really hurt my feelings when I see these amazing people holding back on their beautiful gifts. So with a sales background of over a decade, cold calling and selling high ticket events over the phone, I've been through a lot of emotions and experiences. So I support these wonderful people in bringing their gifts to the world and making sales with ease, grace, and confidence, and also to ask their price. Because we as women so often undersell, we give way too much, and we do not get back the energy exchange in form of money that we should be getting back to feel amazing when giving. So that's my mission. That lights me up. I can talk about it all day. So yeah. I know we are limited a little bit in time, but I'm so excited to be here, to be sharing hopefully some ideas or advice or tips, because my journey started where you probably are right now. I never felt good. I never wanted to be in sales. I thought that sales was sleazy, pushy, icky. And now I'm bringing the message to the world that sales is actually love, because I experienced how it could work, that it's also fun and done in a beautiful, authentic way.
Oh, yes, that sounds, and just listening to you, it's like oozing right into it. There was no hard edges or roughness, which many, it's, spiritual healers, we're more in the soft and the flow. They're the gung-ho ones too, or that have it within them, but many of us, we don't. And yes, many women, as women, we have a different approach of how we exchange our services. And most of our role models, right, have been men. I remember that from when I was in landscape architecture, and I was in Atlanta in the real estate crew, it was called, club. And how difficult it was in a more male dominant environment. We were 20% women. to learn our own way. We took on the way of the men, which is not always a bad thing, but too often we couldn't really show all of us. And
Yes.
this is so important, right? And I remember there were a few women in crew. They told how they were changing, trying first this one way, but it hurts. It hurts, and then moving into the other way of becoming more of themselves. And that has led me also to show ways to, even if we start out in one way, then to explore slowly and gently. I love the word you said, gently and with ease, moving, testing and moving step for step. It doesn't have to happen overnight, into a way, a method, maybe structure or not, depends what kind of, or fluidity, depends on what kind of person you are. So I love what you're bringing, and I'm going to see, I can sense already you're going to reach many, many women, right? And you started out a little bit here in Germany, you're in US, and I always see you traveling already through Europe and soon beyond. So it's a thumbs up for you and your work.
Yeah, I do have clients all over the world, in New Zealand, Australia, the US, Switzerland, Germany. I just love it. And today's technology just makes it possible. And just to come back from that, talking about the male energy and the female energy, we as women, we are the nurturer. Usually we do have children. I don't have any children, so I just have furry babies. But as a mother, you are the nurturer, right? The baby cries, you take care of the baby. Yeah. And you are the one who maintains, you are the one who, brings harmony. And the male energy is more about like conquering and getting something and going out there. And when we look at the world, we do see there are lots of changes. Like your show is so wonderful because you're showing that female, that expression, that sacred, right? And I see there's a lot of change in the world from what I see my clients finding ways of how to express themselves, how to make their offers, how to feel amazing when selling, and also asking the price they truly want to ask, getting clear on what they desire. So we as women, we were suppressed for such a long time that we think we need to model a man to be like a better man, which doesn't work. No. Maybe it works like short time or mid time, because I've been there, in high ticket sales over the phone. That's a super high pressure environment. Like me lasting over a decade in that environment with like all these guys, and I always hired girls because they were so much better on the phone, but still like this high pressure, right? And I try to model and to make my way up the career ladder, to not be often in my feminine energy. And once I became a coach, I had coach training, and I learned to put those worlds together, the sales and the coaching. That's when my magic happened. That's when I understood, wow, like this can be so much more fun. This can be so much more effective, being authentic, being who I am. And it doubled and tripled my numbers, which was really nice. So, and I'm so excited about bringing that to these beautiful people with the gifts, especially the women or the very creative men as well, who do struggle in really claiming their spot, their power, and showing their clients and leading the way, also in asking for money. So that's definitely something that I've seen in my coach training, that people with like great degrees, great backgrounds, but totally heart-centered, had such difficulties in packaging their services and going out to the market and making that offer. and feeling amazing. I mean, if you push yourself, you can do a lot, but feeling amazing while doing it, having a fun conversation instead of a sales conversation, that changes the game.
Yeah. I was just thinking while you were speaking, also men come, we're all so different, we're all so unique. And like in the school system, a certain system has been working, but because we are such an array of individuals, all of us don't fit in. So what question that rose while you were speaking was, so what is a quick way that I can be myself, feel myself when I go onto a phone or intend to call someone? Because sometimes one gets rather rigid the moment you take the phone. Nowadays, not like this. Dates me. You go on a Skype or a Zoom call or a Facebook time. So what is a little trick you do or you can teach the audience?
Yeah, I love to. So first of all, this I did that as a bonus for my course, Hard Sell Smart Start. And I thought, well, I'm just going to teach what I know. So I expected like, well, if I really teach like 30 minutes, I ended up with over an hour of pure content and teaching. But I think where you can start is just being okay with who you are. And I think especially for us as women, you are wonderful, amazing, beautiful, gorgeous as you are right now. There's nothing wrong with you. So don't buy into the story because somebody might say no or might criticize you for what you do, that your stuff is bad or it's not worth anything. That's not true. So when you call someone, make sure you do a little bit of homework before and you really know that you're calling the right person who needs your services or who needs your products, right? Because if they don't, you will get rejection over and over and over again, which will lead to you not feeling good, and it will lead to having the impression that, your services are not worth anything. And because we do what we love, we take it personally and we come to the conclusion, well, if my stuff sucks, I must suck as well. And that's an illusion. So just be really, really mindful what kind of feedback you're putting in your mind when you call someone who says no to your services. So before you call someone, have a look in the mirror and just see this amazing person that's looking back at you and have a positive conversation. Know that you are strong, that you're beautiful, that you have a gift to give to the world. And the person you're calling right now, they might be in need. So your job is to support them so they are not drowning, right? You're the lifeguard. So you want to make sure that you give them your hand, that you offer them the hand so they can take it. If they prefer to drown, well, it's okay. It's their decision. It's not yours. But you can just extend your hand and make that offer. Have that conversation. And then when you have the conversation, just come from that place where you truly serve, which doesn't mean give all your stuff away in one conversation. It means really have the conversation to know, to understand where the person is, where they want to go. And if you have the key to that queendom, well, then you can offer the key. And that's a wonderful, beautiful thing to do, right?
Oh, I can see that.
We don't want to force our stuff on people. And, sometimes people need us, but they can't pay. They don't find a way to come up with some money. Sometimes it's not the right timing yet. Maybe they don't suffer enough yet. So, there's no urgency. They still want to try and experiment. So just be open. So be committed to the goal to serve and to support, but don't be committed to the outcome that they say yes to you. Right? Then you make your life so much easier because you are not totally focused, well, I need to get this client, because as soon as you need something, things become heavy, your body will get tight, and you have that needy energy. And I'm quite sure you know what I'm talking about, because you don't like it when somebody is needy and making offers to you. You feel that the person in the store is needy, and you probably prefer to leave the store, to come back a different time if it's just something you like, but you don't need at that moment, right? So just be mindful of how you show up, with what kind of intention and energy. And when you are aligned, when you're true to yourself and you speak your truth, which might not be the truth of the other person, but it's your truth, then the other person has the opportunity to connect. Then they have the opportunity to say yes to you. But they need to understand you. They need to feel you. They need to feel the intention. And when they need what you offer, it's going to be fine. They're going to find a way to work with you. So just be open.
Yeah, this is a beautiful way to see. It feels very nice. Is there a connection that can be built up, right? Because we put time in, we put energy in when we work with someone. Oh, for me too, I want to laugh. I want to be truly me, not just at the conversation, but I also feel what's happening then later. Can I play? Can I say dance? Do they understand that, my cat shows up in the middle of healings or journeys, right? So that is all part of it. And I can say, sometimes I meet you, or I sing, or that, so that they love that. If there's someone who doesn't like tones or doesn't like my energy because I didn't show it fully enough at the beginning, I won't like the work, and the work won't be so successful. And to see that even before we start with someone or going into the first initial conversation, right, makes a big difference. So if I show myself, if you show yourself totally open, we're like an open book, yeah, right? There's the expression open book. And they can read us, and they can make a very clear and a heartfelt, I love it because it was a heartfelt yes, because they know, oh yeah, I feel that, I like the energy, even though I'm struggling, or maybe it's something new, but I'm going to be adventurous because it feels right. And if we think about that, right, as well, then it's easier to approach for the first time.
Yeah, and sometimes I had people that connected, that knew they wanted to work for me for like half a year or a little bit longer. And then there will be the right time, and they just show up, and they have followed you. They have an idea of what you are about, and it's already decided in their head. So basically you're just talking to them to see, like, where can you support? How can you serve them best, to then make your offer. But I think it's really, really important to have these conversations, because you only want to take somebody on board that you enjoy working with.
Yes.
Right? That you can be yourself around them. Because if you can't, I mean, what's the point of you serving and not showing up to your fullest? I personally don't see a point in it. They can go somewhere else and find that perfect person and get so much more out of that relationship. And if you're okay with it, I'm totally okay with it. Is it good for the business? Well, not always. Sometimes you're not taking like easy money, but is it good for me, for my personal growth, for my excitement each and every day, for the energy I can show up with? Definitely. So I made the decision for myself to only have these, especially with the one-on-one clients, to only have these clients that I feel aligned with what you just said, where the energy, where I can be myself, where I can be open, where I can challenge them. Because, growth sometimes does take a little bit of challenge, and it doesn't always feel amazing. Sometimes it really sucks for a moment until you walk through and you come out on the other side. So if you're coaching or if you're a therapist, you know that people struggle. That's why they come to you. So it's not always an easy journey, but you want to make it as good as it can be for them and for you. So really being mindful of who you take on board, for me, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because then I don't even need to worry, like, do I need to become another person just because I have this person in my calendar today? Right?
Yeah, that is a whole energy switch.
Yeah.
I got this while you were speaking, the feeling of an embrace. So when there comes this challenging time and dissolving, right? You're dissolving structures, you're dissolving realities to bring a person through or into a new, to align them more to themselves, right? We're bringing them back on the path. So there's always this embracing, I sense, or it's where someone can fall back into. It's this falling, and I have to be able to just not embrace them and this feeling, and they want. Do they want to be embraced?
Yes.
Yeah, even if it's an energetic embrace, because then I know if I can hold you while you go through. You're dissolving, and you do the same, right? You help dissolve the structures or even the painful traumas that are there. Why we can't approach? Why can't you approach or say, or why do you need a yes? Or what happens to you when you hear a no? Right? In a client, this hurts. What lies behind it? It's like you go hunt for something. What is always behind, so that it becomes more easier? What can be dissolved, so it can be more easier to speak the truth and not even worry what comes back. Yeah, to be yourself and not worry what the other person goes through. So in a way, you become very compassionate then on your sales call. That's coming, right? Yeah. You're very compassionate.
Yeah, I think the moment, and that took me a while. I mean, that was like a learning. I don't think we're born with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because as babies, we need the feedback. We need to feel loved. We really rely on the people around us. But as an adult, you can really go inside. And once I understood that, yeah, there's some work to do, but I'm okay with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to worry what other people think, because I can't influence it anyway. Right? It's none of my business. I don't know where I heard that, but somebody said, well, it's none of your business. And it's so true, right? It's none of their business what I'm thinking. So it's none of my business what they're thinking. So if they want to think that, that's up to them. It's their decision to like me or not, but it's my responsibility to love myself. And once you're on that space, it's totally fine to show up as you,
mm-hmm.
because you don't give something about the thoughts of that other person about
mm-hmm.
you, right? I mean, obviously you can have a conversation and you can talk about what you think, what they think, and things like this. But I don't know if they judge me or not. And I'm fine. I'm fine with whatever it is. If they love me, great. If they don't, fine too, because I'm totally okay with who I am. And that took quite some work, and it will probably never end. It will take work each and every day to step into that space, to know you are okay. There's nothing wrong. Just for some people, it's not a good match. For other people, it's the best match on this earth. So whatever it is, obviously I don't try to seek people that don't care, but then you can really show up as yourself in each and every conversation. And if somebody cares for you, they're not going to work with you anyway. So why worry?
I love that. I'm just gonna. A song is coming for you to be you. Yeah, to be you, for me to be you, Christine, for you to be you in every moment, so that everything else can fall away. Because what's interesting, there was a tiny shift of energy. So you were sensing what the observer is going through, listening, when it comes to being really okay in the moment of being me and not judgment comes, the word judgment, to be non-judgmental and let the other one invite them to be non-judgmental, and if they are, to not be fazed by the judgment. So there's a song for us to just relax into it and to dissolve judgment, because one of the big principles in this earth is, right, no judgment.
Yeah.
So the song to facilitate, to ease ourselves into it more easy. I'm always still surprised and amazed what beings come through to support us.
Interesting. Yeah, I felt like I've been taking like Middle Eastish something. Really interesting.
Yeah, to really just to.
Yeah,
there are really no words.
To allow what comes through. Yeah. Love it.
And there's the next one. It's another one. And to lighten up, to move forward. So now we're shifting into it. It's a quick celebratory one, feels like. So everybody's set.
Set. So my cat woke up in the meantime.
I love it. They're always there. She's connected to the foundations. I felt it, everyone. When I was speaking with Christine before the show, just as we started recording, my cat was outside, but he made sure that he could come and join the show and be in the living room with all of us. And I know many of you are watching, you have cats and in tune with the spiritual and vibrations of the cats in our life and how often they move us forward, right, Christine?
Yes, yeah, they do. They do. They understand. Well, let's see how this is going.
No problem. So I would love now, you have I want to know a little bit more. What do you inspire to do. You said you're helping so many of us move into this magic of being ourselves, in bringing our gifts to the right person when they are in need, or at least presenting it so when they are in need, they know who to approach and move them out quickly. I love them. You hand them already the key, and when they're ready to put it into the lock, you're there to go through the beautiful gate into a new landscape, new garden with them. So when you're in that garden and on this new path, so what do you envision for your client, but also for yourself in this world?
That's a big question.
Yes.
So for my client, I always, what I would recommend, if you are not really clear about your client, right? Get really, really clear and get down to this one person. It all starts with one person, and you only need one client. And once you supported them, then, you take it to the next one and the next one. So what I feel is that often we have like this huge visions, right? We see people that speak in front of thousands and thousands of people. And then you look at us and we think like, where am I starting out? I don't even have a handful. And, we kind of get maybe frustrated, or we don't know where to start, and we get hung up, procrastinate. So wherever you are on your journey, just forget about everything. Focus on this one person you can support. So when you just asked the question, my person came up. I'm seeing her, and I'm seeing the beautiful gifts and how she supports others. And I love talking about the ripple effect, and I kind of call it side effect, because it's not just rippling in one, it's like rippling in every area. So just imagine you help this one person, right? They take the key, they unlock the gate, and they are in your world where you are the authority, the expert, the person that has what they need. And you support them. So for me, I see my client from, a bit fearful and tight in the body, knowing they have something, but they are not really sure how to give it, right? It's sometimes like when little children draw a picture for you, and then they're not really sure if it's beautiful enough, and they kind of want to show you, but they don't, right? So it's like that with a client. They have this wonderful gift, and they know they have something, but they don't know how to present it. So showing them how to present their gifts, how to package it, how to communicate it with the right words, how to step into that confidence of that power place within you, how to communicate. And then I see her like growing, right? Like she becomes like this queen, this magic person with, like radiating, and she's already beautiful, but now she's showing up as a strong leader. Yeah, I had the conversation with one of my clients the other day, and I was like, you are already a lighthouse. You just need to turn on that light. Because you can be the strongest lighthouse on the coast, maybe the only lighthouse. But if you don't put on that freaking light, nobody's gonna see you. So I see her putting on that light, showing up in her full potential and serving. And now what happens next is the person she serves, and because I serve her, they become a higher version of themselves. They have different communications with their partners, with their friends, with their children. And all of them are touched in a positive way. Right? Maybe because now she's more relaxed and she is more into her confidence, and the business is growing. She's making more money. With that money, she can not only support her and her family, but whatever she wants to support. And all of a sudden, she's more balanced. life is nicer, right? The sun is shining more often. And because of that, she treats all the relationships in a different way. And all of a sudden, her children are less stressed and they get better grades in school and they have better friendships. They're now invited to birthday parties, which they weren't before. You know, like it's like rippling in every single area, not just your life, but the life of your clients and the life they touch. So by just supporting one person, you potentially could support hundreds or even thousands of people. So my vision for my client is that they step up, that they really truly claim who they are, and that they go out without that fear to make their offers, to invite people to buy from them because they have those amazing gifts. Right? You would never, I don't know where I heard that story, but just imagine you're carrying bread, right? And you want to have that bread with like the raisins and like all the good stuff, right? But you haven't baked that bread yet because you're still learning. So you just have the simple version. But now a person approaches you and they're starving, right? You wouldn't hold that bread back and say, well, I'm sorry, you're starving. My great bread with all the nuts and, you know, the good stuff, I don't know how to make it yet. So come back later when I know, right? You would serve them with a bread. You wouldn't even think twice. But about our own gifts, we think twice. So I envision my client for wherever they are in their journey, they start giving their gifts. And they start getting the right energy in return because they're serving, they're giving value, they're getting money back. So now they can build their business and their lifestyle of their dreams and helping, supporting these other people to do the same. Because at the end of the day, right, it's all energy. We all are here because we want to experience happiness. So we really need to start being happy and going for what we desire. In supporting other people. That can be done in a beautiful way. There is no rules that to be successful, you need to be pushy or you need your elbows. There's so many ways. Like, how do you define success? Right? You can be the one speaking in front of thousands or, you know, 100,000s, filling stadiums all over the world. That's wonderful, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important that people realize that no matter who you are, what name you carry, what identity, and you can look at all the people that come to mind right now when I just say that, they all started by changing one person. They started with themselves. And then from that experience, they grew to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. And today, maybe they can serve 10,000 people in a weekend, maybe even more. But it all started with them. And it's the same for each and every one of us. So when we realize that, we just need to take the first step.
And it's so beautiful. It is being myself in the moment. Right? Being myself and you being yourself. And it's like you start going on a stroll and have a beautiful conversation, maybe about something different. And I sense that when you go through the woods and maybe you meet a few more people and they walk with you and your group gets a little bigger and you keep on walking for a few hours, minutes, days, weeks. Maybe, you know, you want to travel all the way through Europe, but I don't know. And then they get larger, if that's what you invite to come, right? And I think you're right. Too often, maybe now with the social media, we see all the high end, and too often the stories in between, the experiences are not spoken enough about or not shown. So I love your reminder of, and it's so true, it's so true. I start with myself, recognizing what I am already have within me, because we have it all. And you said so beautifully, through the lighthouse to turn on the light. And maybe it doesn't have to be that bright light yet, but find a small match, click it on,
Yeah.
and even start putting the candle on to put on the big light, or even go to look where's the fuse box in that lighthouse, and maybe to clean it off, and then you find where to rub it, and maybe you have to repair the line, but it will shine. And many of you out there, you have already the vision, you know where you're going, and you know what is happening, you feel it already, you know your future. Others may even already told you. And sometimes it gives a little burden, right, Christine? It can give the burden, brush off that burden and go step by step. One person, I love that, your story you just said, one person step by step.
Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes it's just you ask yourself, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this wonderful, beautiful quote of Marianne Williamson: "Who are you not? Shine your light." Right?
Yeah.
That's what you came here for. So, I think one of the things I'm most afraid of is like dying with the music inside, as Dr. Wayne Dyer says. I don't want to die with the music inside. I really want to follow my heart. And success looks different for everybody. It doesn't need to be the big house. It doesn't need to be the big car. If it's truly you, go for it. Right? If you love that, go for it. Don't hold back. If it's not you, go for what you truly want. And make it about your experience supporting others. I think that's so important, because so often, especially with social media, we just see like, oh, the big villa and, the Ferrari or Lamborghini or whatever. It's just could be rented for the day. You don't know. But it doesn't matter if it's not you and your story. Don't even bother. Go for what you desire. Could be that you live all by yourself in the woods and you're happy.
Yeah, there are many that love exactly that. And for me too.
Yeah.
As long as I have my garden and sunshine.
Yeah, just go for what your heart desires. But also don't sell yourself short at the same time, right? Because if you're running a business, you're running a business. And if you don't sell, you're having a hobby. So you really need to make the distinction. If you're selling, this allows you, the more money you have, the more you can give. And I think that's something a lot of people have some difficulties with, like spirituality and money, and does it go together? Yes. It is even your responsibility to become the richest person you know, because the more you can give, you cannot give from an empty cup, right? If your bank account suffers, where are you going to give? How are you going to support somebody? So I think, if you look at people that give a lot, well, they have a lot and they have made a lot of money for their services and products and gifts. So I want to invite you to embrace that money goes well with being a good person and being somebody who's following your own path and passion. Making the more money you make, the more you can give. And a beautiful quote that I really, really love is by Bob Burke. It's from The Go-Giver, a book that is co-written Bob Burke and John David Mann. And it says, money is the echo of value.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that. So if people give you money, it shows that you have given value. You have added value. And that's the only way you should get paid anyway. But that's something so beautiful, because then you can give value, you can receive money, and then you can buy your dreams. You need money for everything on this planet. So make sure you're in a really good position so that you can go for what success means for you. That could be traveling the world, that could be sitting home, that could be, what I don't know what it is in English, Diogenes, the Greek Fass in the barrel, the Greek philosopher, just, what do you want? Well, get out of the sun. So do what your heart tells you to do, and care more about what's inside, because you already have all the answers. And true wealth will just come from the inside. You can just feel it from the inside. You cannot get it from the outside.
So true. Yeah, when we are ourselves, when you're yourself and you listen on your own impulses or to your own impulses. Beautifully said, Christine. And you're teaching that soon, right? You have the Sales Mentality Makeover Masterclass number 3, everyone. You better jump in. You have a fantastic subtitle. I always like spiritual and practical steps to increase your sales and to create true wealth without losing your authenticity.
Yeah.
Now, everyone, this is really a beautiful way to embody what you are having, what gift you're expressing to the world, and then finding a way that suits you to a notch as you express it out to others and communicate it to other people who may or may not become your clients.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever it is, for me, it's important to bring that message out. So whatever the person who receives it is doing with it, none of my business. But my business is to do the best job, to show up as the best version that I can be at this moment in time. And then, evolving. That's, if you don't grow, you basically die. So I'm not in for dying. And hopefully there are no plans soon, so that I can still grow and grow and grow. But yeah, I created the masterclass, and it's not just me teaching. So I have amazing people from all around the world teaching on the subjects of sales, mindset, money, and wealth creation. And they all have really successful businesses. They're all heart-centered. And so they're showcasing like where they started, where they're now, and then they're really teaching a segment. So what can you do today after you've listened and you put it into practice to improve your business and life or lifestyle? So I really, really love it. And I'm going to kick it off on the 30th of April by opening a bottle of champagne at the Brandenburg Gate. So if you're in Berlin, make sure you PM me and I'm going to bring you a glass. And if it's too many, I have to organize a couple more bottles, I guess. But I really want to do that. And then I'm going to do a Facebook Live to celebrate you and your gifts and talents and what you are bringing to the world. Because I think it's so important, especially I feel like Germans have a difficult time to celebrate and to really acknowledge their gifts. It's like, okay, done, next, go to the next thing. But really like having that moment, and hopefully the sun is going to be out and it's going to be amazing, to celebrate, to kick off the masterclass with all the amazing teachers. Yeah, I'm super excited, and the countdown is on. It's not that long. So.
No, that sounds so much fun. And it's a funny story. I don't know if I ever told you. 2 years ago, June, about 2 years ago, we did a ritual, an old ritual again, in front of the Brandenburger Tor in Berlin. And we celebrated and brought into the winds with a lot of music and singing and being ourselves. So I love that you're going to do that at the Brandenburger Tor. More beautiful and powerful. And there's also this beautiful angel that overshadows everything, not overshadows it, or looks over. And you have nature right there at the gate, and it is really a gate. So this is going to be fascinating. So you're really drawing in a people to move forward and to not be able to stop anymore, which is so important, because we are not fixed beings. We're moving always forward, always forward. And too often, you said that so a few times today, we hold ourselves back. Yeah. And so you're showing everyone we don't have to hold ourselves back. You don't have to hold yourselves back.
Yeah,
Just
correct.
be you, go for it. It's beautiful. And as you said, with many other people together, it's even easier and one can uplift each other, right?
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah. So make sure you sign into the masterclass. It's a free masterclass. Obviously, after or during the masterclass, you can purchase the recordings. But while the masterclass is running, everything is free because I really wanted to give back. I've been given a lot, and I'm really into the business of gratitude because I understood that this is something so important that we often don't think about it. What are we grateful for? And the more you're grateful you are, the more beautiful things come into your life. So I've gotten support in my business, in my personal growth by so many people. And I just feel that I want to give back. So that's why I've created the podcast, Heart Sales Podcast. That's why I've created the masterclass, so that even though you don't work with me one-on-one or you're not in one of my programs, you can get tons of information and advice and really ideas that you probably never ever have thought of, that will change the way you see sales and your business and will allow you to grow it with a lot. And you know, Meilin, I just run the 7-day free challenge a while back in January, which was again free. So maybe you can say a couple sentences of what people got out of it.
Yeah, I was part of it because I wanted to learn more about you. Yeah. We've connected a few years ago, and too often we don't really understand what the other one is doing. And I'm a big believer in collaboration, coming together, where we support each other and uplift each other, and it's easier. Yeah. And I thought it was very loving, and you have a very beautiful way of listening. And you also listen to words and the story that I'm not telling or that wasn't told. And you sense it. And you invite very gently, you invite me very gently and others to try, to express. And it always felt, for me, embrace, the word embrace, you know, I felt safe. I felt I can be me. And I really like that. And I think everyone came out with a shift in a positive way and created ease for us to express ourselves even more free, even in a preconceived way of maybe, oh, a sales call is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
But you brought clarity. And you said also at the beginning of the show, you know, when we're very clear about what we're offering, this is, yeah, we suddenly can stand right into what we're bringing to the world. I can sense that about you. You're so sure you're doing this now all of your adult life. You switch the direction of who you're serving, but your purpose it is to free up us to to acknowledge that it's part of our life, and it's not really a separate, because we really, in a way, we sell most of the day something, you know, even with girlfriends, or which movie do you go watch, what do we do, do I feel like that, what do you feel like that, and you find a way that works together. Yeah. No, I love that. So I encourage everyone to take a moment to listen to the master class, or if you're holding, Christine, again, a challenge, do join it. And your podcast, they're very fascinating people you have on your podcast from around the world, and there are many valuable tips, and you'll find what is exactly the right thing for you. So trust your intuition, you'll do the right thing anyway, and you will hear what is needed in the moment. So, and the podcasts are just growing. So
Yeah.
where can one find the podcast?
Well, basically everything can be found at christineschlonski.com. And when you go there, you have the menu, and in the menu you have the podcast, and you have also the Sales Mentality Makeover Masterclass that you can register for. And as I said, it's a free event, and you're going to get an invitation to join me for the champagne popping at Brandenburger Tor. And then from there, we're gonna take it off with the classes, with the teachings. So I'm super, super, super excited. And just Google Heart Cells, and on every like podcast directory, you find it, and you can tune in. Especially good when you're traveling or it's a rainy day. It's always uplifting content and giving ideas and showing stories. So far, I have not found the born salesperson yet. That everybody can learn it, but you know, I do ask quite often, like, do you believe that there's such a thing as a natural salesperson? And so far we haven't found it yet. So, but who knows, maybe in a later episode.
Maybe you are one. Or maybe someone who's listening today, so connect with us. And Christine, this was beautiful to speak to you and to shine a new light and to relieve this judgment today. And I sense this ease and this movement and this togetherness. And I think whoever comes into your life will stay in your life. You have them. So yeah, and you take care of them, and that is a very, very beautiful thing. So thank you very much, and I hope everyone enjoyed Christine. Do check her out and see what she's offering, and if it is supporting you and in your life. Christine, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to all of us. And do you have a last word, you had so many beautiful words, but one more little trick.
Yeah, well, follow your heart and stop just dreaming and act now. I think if you put those two together, really go for what your heart desires. Start listen if you're not already, and if you're listening but you don't act on it, it's time. So don't wait.
Yes. So thank you and goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much.